Welcome everyone to my documentary of Riverlands 100. I am here at Androscoggin Riverlands State Park on a training run. I thought I would do some filming while I'm out here. And I know some of you joining are ultra runners who are just curious about the race. And some of you are our normal viewers who come to our channel more for videos of fishing and other outdoors things. So those of you who are ultra runners, if you could just bear with me for a couple minutes while I explain what I'm talking about to everybody else, and then I'll get to some course details. We are 15 days out from the race, and this is the Pine Loop, which has been marked already. I don't remember if this one, I don't think this was part of the course when I did this race before. I know the course has changed quite a bit. Oh, pretty smooth so far. This is an interesting bridge over the mud, and then we got mud. Ooh. Don't do it. Don't give in to temptation and sit in the chair. Alright, so I'm on the Ledges Trail. I thought I would film some of the trail while I talk about the course. Whew. Excuse my breathing. I've been climbing for a little bit and going to keep climbing. I'm, 16 and a half miles into a 20-mile run here. So if you're not from Maine and haven't done any running here, whatever time you think you can finish this race in, add at least an hour. It is far more technical here than people think, and I haven't done a good job of flowers, filming the technical stuff. I've been filming more of the non-technical, but believe me, the technical difficulty is grueling. It does add significant time. As for the climbing, I think it's 120 feet per mile average, which isn't terrible, but it's kind of constant. There aren't a lot of long, grueling climbs, followed by a flat. You're just up and down, up and down. If you do hit a flat, don't get used to it. It'll end in a minute. Whew. It's a warm one out here today. These are relatively dry for this time of year. So the aid stations are great. I don't eat from the aid stations. I have special eating needs, so it's a pain. But even towards the end of the race, they all seemed to have quite a lot there. And the volunteers were super helpful, coming and asking what they can do. And they're spaced out pretty evenly. Well, although the course has changed, it might be a little different this year. See, I'm going way up there. And it's been well marked. I had no issues in the dark last time. The 32-hour cutoff, surprising number of people don't make it. It doesn't seem like it would be that hard. Last time I don't know, I think I'd initially wanted to do 28 hours, but for 7, I think, weeks before the race, I couldn't really run. I had very low ferritin levels, and it was still low when I did the race, so my goal changed to just make the cutoff. And I did, with an hour and 34 minutes to spare. So this year I'm hoping to be faster than that. I'd like to hit 28 hours, but I think things would have to go kind of perfect for me to do that. I'm trying to think what else. It does get pretty sparse out here after the second loop. You can go a long time without seeing anybody. I think the last time, by the time I got under the third loop, huge number of people had DNF'd already. And it got lonely in the dark. Whew. Almost up to the stairs. We run down this as well, assuming that the course is the same in this area. So I'm glad it's kind of smooth, not rocky because it's so steep. And there will be bugs. If you're not familiar with East Coast bugs, black flies are out by then. Usually not too many mosquitoes yet, but if you're terribly bothered by bugs, consider some light long sleeves and pants and bug spray. Having lived here for 47 years, they don't bother me a bit. It doesn't look like I've gotten any closer. There's no real open views. If you're expecting that, up here there's the littlest bit of one. There are some views of the river. Early morning, it's so peaceful to look at. But I mean, it's nice and scenic. It'll be green, at least somewhat green, by the time another 15 days goes by. There we go. Now we're going up for real. There's a lot of ledgy parts to the course that, when they get wet, they are kind of slick. Especially if you're later into the race and having trouble staying upright in general. Okay, almost there. This is about the most you're gonna get for an open view. Is up here. Whew. Almost to the real top. I'm presuming this is the high point. There's no place else I could think of that would be higher than this. Yeah. There's a little trail junction over here. Yeah, right there. If you need a selfie, great place to set your phone down here, by the way. Yep. Probably the high point. Can't see a whole lot. I mean, it's nice, but... Yep. Going down that way. So I decided to finish at a later date and not during my training run. So if you don't know what an ultramarathon is, it's defined as a race longer than a marathon, which is 26.2 miles. They can be any different distance, but the standard different distances are 50K, 50 mile, 100K, 100 mile, and in the last few years, 200 and 300 milers have become a lot more common. More often than not, they're on trails, and often there's some other element that makes it really hard. Like, it might be in the mountains, it might be at high elevation, it might be really technically difficult, might be held when weather is at an extreme hot, extreme cold, whatever. So the response from most people is, why would you do that? What people picture is it being incredibly hard, but people's picture of running is, you know, if they're not runners or not familiar with it, is what you see on TV, people running the Boston Marathon or in the Olympics and running at such a fast pace. I started running when I was 7, I'm 47 now. I've done all the distances, all the way from the 100 meter and track all the way up to 100 milers. And I can tell you, there are some things that make ultras harder, but there are some things that are actually not that hard. You know, if you're running, not necessarily if you're the best and trying to be super competitive, but most of the time we're all trying to do our best, finish in our best time. The shorter the distance, the faster you're running. The faster you're running, the more it hurts, the more uncomfortable it is. My pace at a 5K, a 10K, even a half marathon it's hard. Even a marathon isn't really a relaxed pace. You know what my pace is at 100 miles? Very slow run, walk breaks on the hills, walk breaks when it's really technically difficult, walk breaks when I don't feel great. That's what the majority of us do, with the exception of the elites who are pretty much running the whole thing. You can really relax at these distances, which is super nice. You know, that's one thing I like is stick me on a trail in the woods and have me go for hours at an easy pace. I would so much rather do that than run an hour at a brutally hard pace where I feel like I'm gonna die. I don't really feel like I'm gonna die in an ultra. Things can go, a distance is that long, something's likely to go wrong at some point. Something's gonna start hurting, you're gonna start not feeling good, and obviously you are gonna get really tired. But I don't know, I find that preferable. And there's a lot of other cool things about ultras. I mean, they tend to be held often in really scenic places. There's always something to see. During road races, marathon and shorter, you'll have tables set up with some water, maybe sports drink. Once in a while, if you're really lucky, you might get a gel. Well, in an ultra, you're running through the woods and all of a sudden you smell bacon, pancakes. What is that, soup? You run up to the aid station and a lot of times volunteers will come right up. Hey, do you want some bacon? How about some pancakes? Would you like syrup on your pancakes? You bet I would. That's really, I mean, that's a great thing. You can still do well in an ultra. Stop and sit down and eat. You know, I don't know, I really like that a lot better. And people tend to run together, you know, you're not running at a pace where you can't talk well. And people tend to be, even though they are competitive, less competitive in a way. You know, you might find somebody to run with for 20 miles and just swap stories and kind of make the time pass, you know. It kind of helps you to keep going forward. There's a lot of great things about them. You know, it's definitely my preference. And yeah, in a way it's harder than shorter distances, and yeah, in a way it's not. So, getting back to Riverlands, there isn't really anything that makes it super, super hard, except places are really technically difficult. But this year there is. So today is the day before the race, and I honestly considered not doing it. We've gotten copious amounts of rain. It's bad. I mean, my backyard, I was able to just walk on dry land down there. Now there's standing water this deep to go through. And that's not it. We're going to get 2 more inches of rain. It's going to start in the night before the race and go all through the first 12 hours with torrential rain for some of the time. Yeah. So my time goals are out the window. There's places where, you know, it's not like you're splashing through some mud. You're sinking up over your shoes. And there's a lot of rock that does get slippery when it gets wet, which, you know, first lap, okay, second lap, once you get really tired, that gets challenging. And I wasn't planning on changing clothes or anything, you know, shoes and socks if I had to. Yeah, this is going to get complicated. I'm still going to go, and I'm going to try. I think there's going to be a very high dropout rate, and I think people are going to have a hard time making the cutoffs too, which people typically do. The year I did it before, out of 13 women, only 6 of us made the cutoff. I mean, it's not that easy to make them anyways. So I have packed completely different. I have my tote. So it's 4 25-mile loops, and at the start finish you can have whatever there. You can take drop bags to the aid stations or have them set there. I don't, partly because I don't want to stop again, but partly because I know I'm not going to wait around for them to bring them back. I'm just going to go home and lose whatever I had in there. I'm going to be tired and want to go to bed. So unfortunately I do only have 2 pair of shoes. So I can't have dry shoes every 25 miles. So that's not great. I have in here, this is so much more full than I planned. I brought 2 full changes of clothes. I figured they won't be raining at the end, so I won't need to change a 3rd time. I'm actually going to wear my poncho at first, which I don't want to do, but looking at the amounts of rain in the first few hours, and I'm thinking my hydration pack, everything in it is just going to be like soggy. I'm going to be beyond, and I have a hard time staying warm. I have Raynaud's disease, and I have arthritis, and a number of other autoimmune issues, and I do have a really hard time staying cold, especially if I'm drenched. Staying warm, and it was going to be 70 and sunny. I don't remember what the high, I looked at the feels like temperature, and it's going to be in the 40s. This is not awesome. And 20 mile an hour wind. So I've got multiple bags of clothes and everything you can imagine. I have a little bit of first aid. I have, for every stop, I have a bag with the food set out that I want to put in my pack. And I'm taking for my caffeine. I'm a major caffeine addict. I consume so much caffeine. These are awesome if you've never seen them. People always ask if they're electrolytes. No, but there's 250 milligrams of caffeine in this little thing. You put it in water, and some people wouldn't mind. I don't think it's sweet enough. I kind of think it tastes like crap. So I just drink right from it carefully. So I'm not, don't guzzle a lot to have 250 milligrams at one time. But I'll sip from it. I find that easier. I do a lot of crushed potato chips. I know a lot of people like boiled potatoes, but it takes up too much room in your stomach for the calories you're getting. I prefer potato chips. Can't fit too many in my bag, so I just crush them. And man, they do taste really good once you're out there. And I've got Go Macro bars, and I've got some half sandwiches I set up. I don't actually eat from the aid stations now. In the past I have, but I have to be on a strict anti-inflammatory diet, so I can't imagine there's actually anything I could eat in an aid station. Plus I have food allergies, except maybe bananas. Probably nothing. I don't do the fancy sports drinks like a lot of people do. They're disgusting. All the ones made for endurance athletes, I hate. And a lot of people say too much sugar upsets their stomach, but the ones without as much sugar make me sick. So I do fancy Powerade. And that's it. And I have a couple of energy drinks in here. I do, right? I did put them in. My spare shoes. I got 2 headlamps. These are really awesome. I don't remember the name of these. I should put it in there. Oh, lead lenser. They're really bright. They don't last as long as they say they should, though. And hydration pack. I have an Ancient Nathan hydration pack. My dog, who if she was still here would be 15 and a half, ripped this open when she was slightly older than a puppy. So that's how old that is. My good Nathan bladder sprung a leak, so I got a cheap Walmart one, which hopefully holds up. These are my backup shoes. I have both Solomons. I really like Solomons. These ones I haven't worn very much. I've been wearing the other pair, so I'm going to start with them, and maybe I'll be able to wear them 50 miles. I don't know. That's pretty much the stuff that I have. I don't have anything really fancy. I did bring quite a bit of look coverings for blisters and stuff for chafing, because it's going to be wet. That's going to happen. And I have one good pair of toe socks. One. I really wish I had 4 right now, because I'm sure I'm going to need to change them after 25 miles. That's all I can think of for right now. Of course, I'll be filming tomorrow. I don't think we're going to get the start of the first bit, because it's going to be torrential and I'm not taking my phone out and getting water in it and then having it not work. But as soon as it gets down to lighter rain, I will start filming. Keep you guys updated. Wish me luck. I have never DNF'd an ultra. This could be my first time. Not for lack of being prepared. It just might have to happen that way. We'll see. At the start, got about half an hour. And at the moment, it's not raining bad. But it's going to be by the time we start. So I'm just waiting to get out and put my tote out. They're packing people in really close, so we just kind of stayed off to the side because Brandon's going to not stay here for the entire thing. He's going home. He wanted to be able to get out, but it is definitely packed already. Yeah. didn't do any filming of the start or lap 1. Surprisingly, I was only 45 minutes slower than I wanted to be because these conditions are horrible. The rain has slowed down, but these trails are not going to get better. And there's streams we have to actually wade through. One of them, I suspect, by the time I get there on this lap, will be up to my knees. There are some dry spots, just not very many. I don't know what my odds are finishing. Like I said before, I've never DNF'd an ultra. But this is just insane. Wow. Lovely. Well, this has been mildly catastrophic. I'm at mile 39. Somewhere, quite a long time ago, I dropped my caffeine. I am so caffeine deprived. I just left an aid station and they had a little cup of Coke, which is almost no caffeine, but it was something. And I also dropped my pain meds. How did I drop the two things I need the most? My heel is bothering me a lot. I can tell I'm developing bursitis, and it's affecting my ability to actually run now. So these pain meds would have been really great. I have all this stuff. Actually, I have caffeine back at the start finish, which is what, 11.7 miles now, I think. Yeah. And Brandon's gonna come down, so I'll have him bring me pain meds. But what I'm gonna do is change shoes when I get there. And if the change of shoes helps and I'm not rubbing on that area, then I'm good to go. But if it is, I'm not gonna continue, unfortunately, which would break my heart, but I don't want the bursitis to be so bad that I'm out for the summer or something. Last time I got it, it was better in 3 weeks. So we'll see what happens. And Brandon's also going to bring me some warmer clothes. I do have dry clothes, but man, that wind is unpleasant. It's going to get dark soon. Rain stopped, obviously. I mean, it hasn't helped conditions at all. So here is one of the worst things down here. Oh, it's so cold. Although I will say it feels good briefly on my heel. But it's horrible. Being a very small person, the current actually and it knocked me around. I'm hoping that stuff will drain and it'll go down a little. if I'm out here for 2 more laps. I have to cross it twice per lap. Nothing I can do but go through it. Oh yeah, that's cold. And the current is really pushing me. Oh yeah, that's nice. Real nice. So that was just the Middle Earth aid station. You pass 2 times per lap. I have 4.5, maybe a little more. See if I can start finish, and I am gonna have to be done. I am in excruciating pain in my heel. It hurts bad to walk. I will not be running another step, which really sucks. My first ever DNF. I'm not sure why this happened. I don't know if my feet are really one foot is significantly bigger than the other, and I think it's my bigger foot. I wonder if it's just so swollen that the shoe got to be too small. I don't know. But I'll film a little more on the way out. It's 8:15 and it's beautiful out now. I will say I didn't talk to anybody this year. People have been in really bad moods. I completely understand why. Conditions have been horrible. Most of the trails still a mud pit. The downhills might as well be ice. They're so slippery. Well, it was pretty good right here. Almost time for the headlamp. Oh, I wish I could run. I think I have like 3.7 left. I'd love to run it out, but that's not happening. At least I've got dry clothes in my near future. In my bed. Although honestly, I'd rather be out finishing the race, but not this time. I'm gonna go home and get this heel healed so I can do some more stuff this summer. You can see the reflective things. Of course, there aren't any right here. are quite bright. Yeah, they're plenty adequate. Let's see. Wow, one up there I thought was somebody's headlamp. Nope. I don't get to hallucinate this year either. Last time, partway through loop 3, in the dark, I think it was loop 3, could have been the beginning of 4, I don't know. I started hallucinating that trees were people. I mean, not all of them. Clearly there's a lot of trees. But I hallucinated that there are people and that they were not moving because they needed help. And I wasn't sure what to do. None of them answered me. Another thing about ultras, you hallucinate without using illegal drugs. Did my last major climb. Not that there's not plenty more. Still got a couple of places I need to wade. And then I'll be done with that. Oh, downhill hurts the worst. Uphill actually hurts the least. The moon's nice. It's going to be full a couple days. A little over a mile. Brandon was at the finish and he said people are dropping like flies. I'm not seeing a lot of people out here, so that would explain it. Alright. Almost back to the picnic meadow here. And it's a short distance to the ATV trail. And then 3/4 of a mile, so I'm probably at 1 point, at the most 1.2, maybe not even. It hurts a lot. I just want to heal it, tackle some more races or other routes I want to do. This summer, I got time, as long as I take care of it.
All right, it's a little after 2 on Sunday. The race finished a few minutes ago. I looked at the live tracking and it looks like 17 people finished. Man, that's not a lot. That is not a lot. And a huge number of them finished pretty close to the cutoff. So what a rough year. I'm not sure if I'll be back next year or not. I've got so many other things I want to do. We'll see. And I thank you very much for watching the video, and please subscribe.